What did you assume was disgusting until you tried it? I didn't know what curry was. An Indian restaurant opened next door. OMG, it's so good. I remember my first curry like it was yesterday, despite being 15 years ago or so. I had no idea what I was tasting. The flavors were so incredible I could barely wrap my head around it. I've been chasing that dragon of discovery ever since. I'll try anything. I haven't had that experience many times since then, but my first meat vindaloo after I became omnivorous again did it. Banh mi, dirty rice, and kejanu have all given me the same experience. Brussels sprouts. Roast them up with garlic and lemon juice and they're amazing. Boomer here. So good now. But they were way more bitter 50 years ago. I thought it was my evolving palate. Nope. They have been hybridized to be better. Lucky you, Gen X. We took a bullet for you on this one. Update. Palate not palate. Derp. Oh, everyone is talking about food they tried. Never mind. This guy eats ass for sure. Pesto. I'd had store-bought pesto in a jar. Then I made it myself. Night and day. It's not hard to make with a food processor, and it's delicious. Sushi. And not rolls. Nigiri. I started eating sushi when I was about 30 years old, and now I'm sitting at the bar on a Wednesday eating it alone, LOL. Asparagus. Cook them on a pan and brown them and maybe boil them, and they are so good. Spritz a bit of lemon and some Parmesan. So delicious. Sour cream. Both of my parents don't like it, so I assumed I didn't either until it was hidden in a burrito, and man, was it life-changing. It's so good on Mexican food and also in chili. I really like chili dogs with sour cream, shredded cheese, and some hot sauce. Runny yolks. Marmite and cheese together, in a sandwich. Pumpkin-flavored stuff. Friend made pumpkin pie last week, and it's literally the best dessert I've ever had. Guacamole. Eating ass. Pickled eggs. Coleslaw. Turns out it slaps. For me, it depends. Sometimes it's incredibly good. Other times it can be awful. Definitely something that needs fine-tuning. French onion soup. Feta. Biscuits and sausage gravy with yellow mustard. I worked at a Waffle House and a couple regulars would make it and I'd make fun of them. So they dared me to try some and I swear to God, it's so good. Pepperonis. It sounds very weird, I know. I used to be scared of them actually. My mom told me that if I did anything bad, she'd put ginger on my tongue. For whatever reason, my child brain saw pepperonis and thought they were ginger. Pepperoni is now my favorite type of pizza. Cauliflower. I didn't start eating it until I was in my 40s. Drinking in general. My mom was an alcoholic and turned me off of drinking completely when I lived with her. Seeing the empty beer bottles pile up on the kitchen counter truly disgusted me. I feel very different about drinking now, but I still dislike the smell of beer. My mom's drinking habits completely turned me off of beer, so I stick with whiskey and wine. Cold smoked salmon. A Frosty with French fries. Escargot gets a bad rap because haha French and snails, but I had it for the first time at Disney World of all places on a toasted baguette, and it's just shrimp with attitude. Liver and onions. Clams and oysters. Yeah, I assumed oysters on the half shell were gross until I tried them. Then I tried them and confirmed they were gross. I wanted to like them, but... Beef tartare. I'm not much of a meat eater and certainly not a raw anything eater. I like my steaks well done. I know. But I was at a fancy wine and cheese event, and tartare was being walked around in a cute platter, and I thought, why not? It was heavenly. Sardines. Honestly, tinned fish in general. There are some delicious gourmet ones at my local high-end grocery. Indian food. Asparagus. Cheesecake. Have to admit, that's a pretty terrible combination. Curry just because everyone around me would complain about the smell, but honestly, I tried it and I love it. It doesn't even smell bad to me, so I don't get why they were complaining. My apartment has poor ventilation, so strong cooking odors can linger for a few days. But that's consistent across the board, no matter the regional food we're cooking. And I can totally understand if that's where someone's issue is coming from. But otherwise, I feel like sometimes, at least some people are using that as an excuse for their racism. Spam. It's amazing fried in teriyaki sauce over rice. Raw tuna. Granted, it was caught earlier that day, so it was pretty much fresh as it gets, but it was surprisingly decent. Butt sex. I had to scroll so far for this answer. Everybody just talking about food. Sauerkraut. Pâté. I was very wrong. Yes, every pâté I've ever tried has been phenomenal, even the liver stuff. Pineapple on pizza. Cow tongue. Lingua is pretty good. Making out after BJ. Chief should never be afraid of his own cuisine. Hummus. Such a solid munchy food. My dog suggested one. Cat turds. Haggis. Being Scottish, I think haggis is rancid. All the lung in a stomach, love the stuff. Could eat it daily. Kimchi. Yeah, I grew up in rural Texas, and there was a bunch of people from my church who went on a mission trip to South Korea. They all talked about kimchi and described it as a rotted cabbage that smelled like feet. Years later, when I was stationed in Japan, one of my friends took me to a Korean restaurant and got a bunch of stuff for me to try. I couldn't stop eating one of the spicy pickled condiments and was shocked when she told me it was kimchi. I now keep a jar in my fridge. That stuff is addictive. Cottage cheese. Fettuccine Alfredo. I'm a super picky eater. I thought the cream was going to taste really weird, but when I was told it was a blend of cheeses, I tried it, and it is now one of my favorite foods. I am proud of you for giving it a shot. I hope you find more things you like. Kombucha. Red wine and Coca-Cola. A cashier tried to convince me that Coca-Cola and eggnog together is where it's at. I'm okay not knowing. Pistachio ice cream. It sounds so weird, but it's goddamn amazing. Boiled peanuts. The first time my husband took me to visit his family in the Blue Ridge MTNs, he pulled over at a rundown shack with a bullet-riddled sign that said, "Peanuts." This old guy scooped out a big cup for us, handed me a tiny pocket Bible, told us to keep an eye out for copperheads, and away we went. I lasted 30 seconds in the car before the delicious smell got me, and my poor husband lost at least half of his snack. Straight peanut butter on bread. Wait until you try gay peanut butter on bread. Yogurt! Fermented milk? Yuck, no fucking way, I thought. For decades I thought that. Then I got some for my dog. I read they liked it and it was better for them than ice cream, but they wouldn't eat it. So I made out like it was actually people food, not dog food, to trick them into wanting it. Dog people know what I'm talking about and ate a spoonful to prove it. And that's how I started consuming fermented milk air day. Raw egg and alcoholic drinks, prairie oysters, rose-flavored Turkish delight, peanut butter and mayonnaise on the same sandwich, mayonnaise as a fry dip. My younger brother would eat PB&J with mayo sandwiches when he was little, but I also convinced him slugs tasted just as good, so there's that. Anchovies on pizza? Now I'm basically a different person. Bidets. Also, why is everyone assuming this question is about food? Polenta. Sounds too much like placenta, but was surprisingly delicious. Calamari. Oysters. Turned out I was right. Smoked oysters. On saltines. I could knock out a whole can by myself. Durian. I already enjoyed it before I got assigned to work in the area it's grown. The office there had a sort of rite of passage for those assigned from elsewhere to eat it. Imagine their surprise when I started asking about which variety was which. Brie, I bought some with a small loaf of bread for lunch once, and it was so good. Thanks for watching. Someone said the curry next door discovery, and that blew me away. What food did you assume was gross but love now?